Okay, I just sat and watched a whole series called The Watcher, and it was about a house that, what's the word that the Bible uses? Oh my gosh, I can't think of. Let me think of the word. Anyways, about the house, these people all obsessed about this one particular house, and everybody that lived in it, you know, they had this really strange addiction and obsession with this house. This was like a house in in the early 17 1800s. It kept getting remodeled. um, and each person that lived in the house put their own little touch in it. So it starts off the series with this man with his two kids, a daughter and a son, his wife, and they buy the house. They go into, what is it called? They go into serious debt to buy this house, cash in all their pensions and whatever to buy this house. The obsession with the house, and there was letters that was sent to the each homeowner every time they moved in by somebody called the Watcher. And every time they got these letters, something strange would happen. So the first part of the episode is that a ferret, the pet ferret got killed, and so it just evolves from there. This movie, and then it goes on to the next buyer. So they go into detail about past, trying to find the past buyers, past people that lived in the house, but they could never find the past people that lived in the house. Like the records would always get destroyed, or they weren't kept up, or they could never find out exactly the things that actually took place in the house. So, like, they would get bits and pieces that a family was murdered in the house or something happened in the house, right? And so it goes on and goes on and goes on. And at the end of this series, it turns, it gets to where a biracial family, black woman, white husband, buy the house. And, well, first, let me backtrack. So there's real estate agents that are doing crooked deals to try to get these houses for a very cheap price. And then one of the real estate agent who was like conniving to try to get the first, people that are in the series out of the house with the two kids, the boy and the girl. And she finally succeeds and she buys the house. But then when she buys the house, her dog ends up getting killed. The bathtub overflows in the bathroom upstairs in the master bedroom, and she goes to sleep. She puts these little what do you call those little covers over your eyes when you sleep, and then she gets awoken by some alarm that goes off, and they have this old fashioned dumbwaiter that goes up and down, and in the dumbwaiter is yet another letter, as she pulls it out of this little silver, like which used to put meals in, old fashioned meals in, and to keep them hot, they're in this silver platter with a silver lid. So she opens up the letter, and then she gets freaked out by what the letter says, because each homeowner's gotten one of these letters from the Watcher. And then she runs downstairs, and lo and behold, her dog is dead on the floor downstairs. But when she panics and she flips out, she's about to run upstairs, and from the steps, that Watcher appears. And in the letter, it says that, you're never going to know. I know more about this house than you know about this house. And, I'll, basically, he can, he or she can come through that house anytime they want to. And there were tunnels and, secret tunnels from Prohibition times, and like I said, in the stairs, like he just opened up the steps, and the steps, opened up, and out pops this man. You know what I mean? Or woman. It looks like somebody dressed all in black with a black hood, and like one of those Little Red Riding Hood type of outfits, but it was all black. So I was thinking about this whole series, and I was thinking, this is a lot like different civilizations and the passed down um, governing structures. Like in America, we have the Capitol and the White House and all these different you know historic buildings, right? And in London, they have their historic buildings, their castles and their whatever. And in Italy, the Vatican, they have theirs. It's almost as if this storyline is talking about every generation that inherits this governing structure, and then the curses that lay upon every generation who inherits, this governing structure, like the White House or Capitol Hill or the Vatican or whatever. But it's like it's a lesson. It's like whoever wrote this series, it was like meant to be something much more deeper. Like it's to let you see that everybody thinks they have ownership of something, right? The next power structure that comes in, oh, I got ownership of this whole country, or oh, I have ownership of the world, or I have ownership of this, and lo and behold, here's this watcher, this watching, and lets you humbles your ass and lets you know you don't own shit, you don't have shit. And when we want you to be evicted out of fear, we evict you out of fear. That's what the whole series reminds me of, like the eviction of power. And then whoever moves in thinking they got it on wrap, they got it locked down, and they have ownership, and then lo and behold, no, you don't have shit. And then you start receiving these letters and these, this watcher telling you, what they know about your personality, what they know about your life, what they know about, your power, and then just start to dismantle everything about you. So in the first part of the series, this man loses. He's been with this law firm. I think it was a law firm. This law firm for decades, and then ends up getting fired because one of the watcher, a female, jumps in bed with him while he's sleeping, and she's underage, and he's married, and they send these these videos of this woman laying down beside him. He doesn't know anything about it because he's asleep, but it got sent to his boss, and he loses his job that he's had for decades. So he gets humbled, basically. And everybody that's jumped into that house, who comes in on ill-gotten gains, or whatever the case may be, they get humbled, and they get scared off from this house. So it's like I'd love to know who the writer was. I need to roll it back and find out, who really wrote this episode, because they're deep, they're a deep thinker, because I get a whole lot of perspective out of this series when it comes to governing structures, world power, and what have you. It's like he sums it all up in this house, this old-fashioned, historic house. And stop it. And everybody that takes ownership of this house ends up leaving the house out of fear. So I found it very interesting. I had to watch it to the end. I really did. It was pretty good.